Hey guys, this is Nate with the next 5-minute analyst video. Where we left off on the last video is we installed QGIS. We got that set up. We installed a plugin, OpenLayers plugin, that allowed us to bring in Google Maps. And then the tutorial before that, we were looking at building out market areas for locations using 5-minute drive times and a 5-mile radius. So what we're going to do now is actually take those market areas and plot them on a map so that you can actually interact with them. So what I have up right now is an Alteryx script, and I have three outputs. So I have an output that is the actual points associated with the market areas, and then I have an output for the 5-minute market area, and then an output for the 5-mile market area. This way I have three separate shapefiles, and I can style them and interact with them individually when I get to QGIS. So when you're in Alteryx, you just save this file, and you're saving it as a shapefile. And then just remember where you save it so you can access it when you jump over to QGIS. So I already have QGIS set up, how we left it last time with Google Streets as the base map. You click the symbol up here, and basically what it is going to do is it is going to ask you to tell it where the shapefile is. So let's find our shapefiles, and what we're going to load first is the drive times. So you can see there are several different components to this one individual shapefiles, but it lights up the one that you need to select, the actual .shp file. So just click on that, hit open, open again. It'll bring it in. Now the map doesn't automatically zoom to your shape, so if you zoom to layer, then you can make sure that it looks right. And we're in Florida. The shapes are not circles, so you can tell that that's the drive time, so it looks like we're good there. So let's go ahead and add our other shapes. The next one being the actual points for the Anytime Fitness locations. This will be their actual store locations, and as you can see, those points came in. And the next one will be the radius pulls. So these should all be perfect circles. No, perfect circles. Great. So what we did to review is we're adding shapes to the Google Streets base map. Okay. So the exact name of the shapefile is going to come through as your name here. So again, click on this, your data set, you're going to point it at your shapefile, and once you found it, you click open, and it's automatically going to bring it in. So the cool thing about this, and this is why I was saying that I wanted to load these separately, is because you might not want to look at the 5-mile radius, right? You might have a use case where you just want to look at the points, or you just want to look at the drive times. So we've got we brought in our shapefiles, and now we have them on the map, and that's great. But it's kind of hard to make them out with the way that they are colored right now. There's a funny like blue-purple color, and there's no transparency to the layer, so you can't really see what's under them. So what we're going to do quickly is we're just going to go into this shape, and we're going to change the settings or the properties. So we go into properties, and now this is where you can start getting a little bit more advanced as far as what you want it to look like. So if you do have a style guide or a color palette that you want to stick to, it would be great because you could use that here. And then also you can change your transparency. So if you have multiple layers that are going to be potentially overlapping, then you really want to make sure you have your transparency on, because if not, then people can't see the base map. So I would see a circle, but I don't know what crossroads that circle is over, right? So it's less useful. So you want to be able to see through the shape to the base map and actually understand what the location is that you're talking about. So quickly, let's change our transparency. I normally do around 20% to start. And then for the layer transparency, I also do 20%. This color I'm not a super fan of, so let's just go with this pink color. That's a good one. It should render well on the map. We'll click OK. And then the other thing is the outline, right? How do you want the outline to look? Do you want the outline to be black? If you can do that, but sometimes it takes away from the shape because you have this hard boundary. So what I'll do a lot of times is I'll just make the boundary the same as the fill color, just to start things off, and we'll see what that looks like. So let's hit OK. So as you can see, the colors are a little bit lighter. Let's zoom in here. And now you can actually see through the shape. So we're looking at a 5-minute drive time here. We're not really sure where the location is. Oh, here's your location. It's right there. So for this one too, we can change this, right? So we'll come in here. This green color isn't the easiest to view, so let's change it to this blue. Right, we can make the size a little bit bigger because it's pretty small. So let's move it from 2 to 4. And again, this same thing, it's got a black outline, and let's change this to be blue. All right, so we got pink and blue, a nice little combination there. And hit OK. All right, so now you can see your location. It's a little bit easier to make out, and then you can also see your drive time. So if we click on the pan map, which is just the hand, you can start to move this around. And you can start to understand the different communities that these individual locations might serve, right? If the typical Anytime Fitness has a reach of approximately 5 minutes, then what it's easy to see is where your gaps are. So you've got pretty good coverage up here, right? But then you've got a pretty big gap up here. And you've also got a pretty big gap all around here. So it starts to get very interesting from a positioning standpoint and from a growth standpoint when people are starting to think about, I potentially want to put in a new location. Well, what are the market areas of the existing locations, right? You probably wouldn't want to put one here because you got people on both sides of you, and it looks like their drive times actually connect, right? They're actually touching, and then the same with these two, and these are very close. So it'd be hard. You'd have a lot of competition in here. But if you came up here, you've got nobody. So this helps you visually depict the market areas associated with the individual locations. And now that you have these, you can start digging into the demographics of the individuals that live within these areas. And that's where you really can start to reveal what your typical customer looks like, and then you can try and target communities that look like your successful locations, right? And that's what we'll kind of move into next time. But for now, what we did was we built our primary market areas using a radius and then using a drive time in Alteryx. We installed QGIS. We went and pulled in the Google Maps Open Layers plugin. And then we plotted the drive times. And now, if you take a look at this, and you are, let's say, a regional manager for Anytime Fitness, and you're responsible for this, Hillsborough, Pasco, Hernando area, you can kind of see at a glance, this is where our presence are, and where aren't we, and should we be there? Right? It's a different way to have a conversation about growth. So if you have any questions, let me know. Leave a comment, or if something wasn't clear or it's not working for you, hopefully we can get that squared away, because this, I think, will empower you to lead very interesting and informative conversations with your clients or with your leadership team. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's a little bit longer than 5 minutes, but we covered a lot. And I'll see you guys soon. Thanks.